Good evening, or good morning, or good afternoon, whenever you're watching this video. But you never know what time of day it's going to be in the midst of the matrix after all. Depending upon where you are in your schooling, you're going to be one of my students. And so I thought I would introduce myself. I'm teaching a couple of sections of the Astronomy 101 class. So it depends upon which one you chose, this one or this one. We'll do planetary astronomy or we'll do galactic and stellar astronomy. But both of them are sweet. So thank you for signing up for my class. I'm going to introduce myself a little bit to you now so you can either look forward with anticipation or run screaming with terror to the registrar and say, get me out of this class right away. I hope that will not happen though. I think we'll have a good time. My name is Kurt Messick. I am a person who wears many different hats. So you'll notice as we're going along that I am often wearing hats. This is my most frequent hat. This is my general, hey, everyone in Iceland knows that hat. I'll be talking about that here in a moment. But every now and then there are other hats too. When I'm in jolly old England, you'll most likely see me in something like this. When I used to work there, I would wear other hats that might be more like this, although that's gone way out of fashion. But of course, when I really wanted to be remembered and really wanted to be elementary, my dear Watson, I had this one. And of course, while I had this one, I also had the magnifying glass and I had the pipe and everything. So I even had the coat. I may show it to you sometime if you're really lucky. Of course, since we're dealing with astronomy, sometimes we have to do some funky things. So I have my tinfoil hat ready to go to keep all of the alien transmissions at bay and to keep everything away from my eyes. If you're not running for the registrar now, just wait. It's coming. It's coming. So I do quite a lot in our virtual environment with the Zoom setup, and that's where we're getting our backgrounds here. I will change this from time to time so you won't always be inundated with the matrix. That's the good thing about being in the matrix. We can change our environment very simply. These, of course, are the northern lights. And one of the reasons I go to Iceland, as I mentioned before, is to see the northern lights, among other things. But one of the things I want to do right now is show you a little bit about what's going on in my life so you know who it is you'll be dealing with. And so I'm going to try to share my screen with you here. And let's take a look at a PowerPoint that I have put together. Can we play this from the start? Yes, there we are. Quite frequently, you will see different kinds of backgrounds in the Zoom, and quite frequently, because this is an astronomy class, they will have astronomical or scientific relevance to them. So get used to this. Get used to that shirt too. I tend to wear it a lot. I have actual telescope equipment. I have actual experience at doing different things in astronomy. We sometimes do them on campus if we get the chance. It depends upon how everything proceeds with lockdowns and accessibility. We may have an opportunity to actually play around in person with a telescope or two, or binoculars or two, but I will be showing you different things along the way. Here I am in England just a few months ago at a place called Bath, and that is the old home of a person named William Herschel. William Herschel is most noted in astronomy's history for the person who discovered Uranus, not Uranus, that's something else. But you can make all sorts of jokes with that here. This is the telescope that first saw Uranus, ha ha ha. Yes, I know every single one of those jokes. If you don't think I don't, then you're in for a treat. I do know where the best telescopes are hidden in Bloomington. This is one of them as well. Here I am just sort of proving that I was where I was telling you I was. I do like to travel quite a bit. See, there's the hat. I wasn't lying when I was telling you about the hat. I have degrees from various places. This isn't even all of them. This is an old picture. And of course, I am better at getting degrees than I am at hanging things on the wall and making sure that everything fits properly. But, you know, life is short, so it's okay. I as I mentioned before, know a lot of jokes because I was a stand-up comedian for years and years and years and years and years. So you're going to hear jokes. You're going to get you're my captive audience now, and I don't do this really. I occasionally take the stage for charity purposes, but mostly it's a thing of the past. But it was quite a lot of fun, and I was, of course, the comedian in the hat. People would see the hat and groan and go up and get something at the bar. They're like, we don't have to listen to him anymore. But yes, I ran the show at Bear's Place. I was at the Comedy Attic. I've done things in Canada, in Iceland, in England, all over the United States. And my picture is still up on the wall at Bear's Place. There I am. Notice the hat, notice the hat, notice the same shirt in the picture. Notice it's like things never change, but things do change. And I don't do this quite so much anymore, but I think my picture is still up at Bear's Place. As you can tell, I'm a party kind of guy, so we'll have a lot of fun. But I do have my serious side, so Knives Out, you're going to watch it. I am an animal lover. Some animals love me too. I like horses. Again, when I go to Iceland, I ride on the horses. You believe it or not, we have giraffes here in southern Indiana. We have all sorts of wildlife and livestock along the way. I'm not always quite convinced that they're not trying to kill me, but of course that's what comes from being wild. I do travel quite a bit. Here's a time just a few years ago when I was in England being interviewed because I used to work in the building that's behind me there. That's the Parliament building. And this is the place where they always want you to stand for the interviews so that they can get your head and Big Ben in the background in the same shot. I was in England just a few months ago, as I mentioned before, and I got to hobnob with some of the locals, and I got to see some of my old stomping grounds. This is actually the garden that I was never allowed to go into when I was working there, but now, of course, who cares? I do travel nationally as well as internationally. Here I am in San Francisco, about to take a cruise up to Alaska. When I got to Alaska, I met a lot of the locals and they didn't kill me. Here I am. I don't just go to Iceland where it's cold. I go to Alaska where it's cold, anywhere where it's cold. So here I am about to freeze on the deck of the ship. If there are icebergs around, if there are glaciers around, I'm going to go and see them. I like to hike on glaciers, actually. If there are waterfalls, I'm going to go there too. Here's the hat that everyone knows in Iceland. The tour company in Iceland actually lists me not as Kurt Messick. They list me as Kurt with the hat, and they know me very well there. This is Skogarfoss. Foss means waterfall there, so this is the foss near Skogar, a bustling burg of about 200 people. Here I am near Gullfoss, and this is Golden Waterfalls. It actually freezes over in the winter. It looks like I'm about to freeze there too, and it's one of my rare hatless events in Iceland because the wind was kicking up so much it would have blown the hat off even being tied down. So here I am near another waterfall, hat back in place. The Hallgrímskirkja, the Church of Hallgrímur, behind me there, reflective of inspiration from the same geological processes that formed the island. I go there in the winter time. I go there for New Year's Eve, which is a great party time. More fireworks per capita than anywhere else in the world. I also go there in the summer. Believe it or not, this is almost midnight on the longest day of the year, the summer solstice, June 21st. We'll talk about that in class if you stay in my class. So this is where the sun didn't set. If you go far enough up in North Iceland and go up in elevation, you can reach a point where the sun actually never sets as it goes through the sky. One of the things I love to do when I go there is to crash the scenes of films that are being made there. Of course, the most famous recently is Game of Thrones. They don't always like it when I show up, so they don't like crashers along the way. So they have their rules, but fortunately I survived. They're actually good friends of mine. This is Teo. He's actually an extra in Game of Thrones, so it was a lot of fun. Notice the hat. There. I've known other famous people. This is Lord Jeffrey Archer when I was working in London a long time ago with a lot of bad hair. As you can see, I have no bad hair now because I have no hair. But he was Jeffrey Archer then. He became Lord Archer. He became inmate number something because he was convicted of something. He's out now, but that's okay. It's all in the past. Here I am. I'm Kurt with Kirk. William Shatner there, and here I am again. Notice the hats. Notice the hats. There's a hat. There's a hat everywhere. A hat. Here I am with Neil deGrasse Tyson, who's perhaps the most famous astronomer on the planet today. So I am teaching an online class, which is the 101 class. I'm also teaching a virtual 101 class. So when we are Zooming, of course, we have to be a little bit more cautious. So here Bart is telling us something that's very useful. You may have seen online already all sorts of different kinds of horror stories about the woman who went to the bathroom carrying her phone and she was still live on Zoom and other kinds of things like that. So chances are good, because I'm fairly good at Zoom now. We won't have things like that. We may have some other silly things happen because you never know, dude, what's going to happen. But they'll probably be deliberate. They won't be by mistake along the way. And so, again, depending upon what it is your choice is, you can turn around and say, hey, I think that virtual class looks attractive, or I think that online class looks attractive. And trust me, no one else is going to be looking at you funny if you make a decision in different ways. So may the force be with you. I know we're a little bit past May the 4th, but hey, it's never too late to honor the greats. And I look forward to being with you, whether it's in the online, whether it's in the virtual class, or whichever one suits. Again, thank you for watching this video, and thank you for enrolling in our courses. And I look forward to seeing you in our classes. And let me just let you know, there will be a lot of thinking that we'll be doing in these classes. It'll be a lot of fun along the way. We'll go to some far out places. Sometimes we'll have some really spectacular things. See, here's Game of Thrones. I stole it from them along the way. This summer, there are actually a couple of comets that may come into view, so we may have some fun doing that along the way. But I won't put any of you in jeopardy. Don't worry about that. And I won't take any more of your money than, well, I won't take any of your money, actually. So I'll leave that to the other people who deal with the business office. So you can ask all the questions you want. It won't cost you a dime in terms of extra money for all of this. And we will do the absolute best we can for all of it. And we will go boldly where a few courses have gone before, but we'll be doing a lot of fun stuff along the way. And again, just stay tuned and